The pairs at NHK played out pretty much as I expected it to. Anastasia, Mishina, and Alexander Galliamov looked rock solid at this event and went for the win and took it. While the short was a little tentative, the free was all out, with the exception of the throw triple loop, where Anastasia put her hand a little down. Everything else was on point. Tamara Masvina really knows how to get a pair prepared for the Olympic. And you could tell she is invested in this pair. This is her pair. And I agree with her 100%. This was a very convincing win of over 14 points. The only thing that concerns me a little is that finishing lift right at the end of their program. I noticed that Alexander had some tape on his hand, and I really hope they change that last position to something else because that looked like it's very straining on poor Alexander's hand. And I really don't see the purpose of them stopping the whole program almost, and then him having to hoist her up in the air. Anyhow, they were so cute in the kiss and cry when they were reading the Japanese message. I feel like there is still a long season ahead, so I hope, they pace themselves. However, I am definitely a fan of this team, not only for this Olympic cycle, but for what they can possibly do the next 4 years coming up. I really like this team. I had put them in first place, even though I said they would come in second. We have Yevgenia Teresova and Vladimir Morozov. This was yet another event where Evgenia and Vladimir, the team with the best elements but not the best competitive mindset, let it go. The side by side jumps were doubled, the throws two footed. They are back to looking miserable and disconnected. The short was actually okay. Everything was clean, everything was landed. However, when it came to the long, it was just it's like a broken record. It was just a repeat of the same old same old. I had them in first, but I guess the teamplushenko effect is not enough to even get them to get in the right competitive mindset. Um, with a gold and a silver, I feel like they've done more than enough to make it to the Grand Prix final. However, I'm a little concerned of where they will be when they get to the Grand Prix final because not only will they have to go against their own countrymen, this will be the first time they're going to meet up with the Chinese team. Hopefully, hopefully they'll have it together by then. But given what's going down on Sambo 70, who knows? But hopefully they'll have it together by then. Coming in third place is none other than Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara. Being at home performing at the NHK, the stress must have been next level for Ryuki and Ryuichi. However, they delivered in the short and had a season best. They really were on point. They were connected. Everything I like in my pairs team. They were connected to each other. They were enjoying themselves, which allowed us to enjoy the performance. Everything was nice and crisp and clean. However, this did not carry over to the long. This was the messiest outing for them so far in terms of their long program. Riku doubled the side by side triple salchow, and they had a hand down on the throw triple loop. Yet, even despite those two mistakes, everything else was just great. I understand why they would make some mistake given the level of pressure they must have felt skating in front of a live audience, such a big audience, and it being a home audience. However, I still felt like they gave a great performance. And also, Ryuichi's reaction and the kiss and cry when they saw the season best was everything. Another team that I am highly invested in. I feel like this season pairs is gonna be such a torture for me because there are just so many teams that I like and that I'm invested in. However, with a silver and a bronze medal here, I think I think they've done enough to make it to the Grand Prix. Um, I'm gonna have to look at the protocols to see exactly what the points breakdown will be, but I think they've done enough to make it to the Grand Prix final. Coming in on fourth place was Ashley Kane Gribble and Timothy LeDuc. This was an okay outing for Ashley and Timothy. This was another clean short program. And I feel like although the long wasn't perfect, they've done enough to make things more difficult for the US Figure Skating Federation in terms of making their decision to who to send to the Olympic. I think a bronze medal and a fourth place finish is not a bad showing at the Grand Prix. The short was very clean, and the long Ashley landed all the side by side jumps. So I was like, yes. Unfortunately, they went down on the throw triple sow, but still, this was their best performance this season in the long, and they did manage to get, their season best. I think they're going in the right direction, and I feel like it will come down to how well they do at national. Everything that they could possibly do to put themselves in a position to make that team, I feel like Ashley and Tim are doing. It will all come down to how they perform at nationals and what the federation decides. But this was another good outing for them. In fifth place was Audrey Liu and Misha Mitrofanov. This was a great sophomore debut for Audrey and Misha. I am not a big fan of their short program. However, they skated all their elements clean. The free was much better. And I can say I've never seen them in better shape than they were at this event and this free program. Side by side jumps, check. Throws, check. Twists, check. Lifts, check. I have to say, American pair skating is looking like it has a bright future. This may not be their Olympic cycle. However, I definitely think Audrey and Misha can become leaders of US pair skating in the next 4 years. I'm really looking forward to see how they grow. Um, Coming in after them in sixth place was Evelyn Walsh and Trent Machad. This outing for Evelyn and Trent was much better than Skate America. However, that is not saying much. The short was okay, and the long was also okay. At this point, I really don't see them making the Olympic team for Canada. However, this is sports, so nothing is impossible. The problem with Evelyn and Trent is all of their elements are either okay or below standard. They don't have a wow element, they don't have anything they do particularly great side by side. They don't have great side by side jumps. Their throws are hit and miss. Their twists, I see that they're working on getting it much bigger. Like he's throwing her much higher over his head, but then he's not really able to fully catch her when she lands. They lose a lot of points on their levels. There's just a lot of things against this team and a lot of things that they have to work to overcome in a short period of time. So I'm not too sure that they're going to make the Olympic this season. However, they did manage to improve from Skate America to now. So who's to know what's going to happen by the time their nationals come around? We'll have to wait and see. All in all, pairs was pretty clean cut. Let me know in the comment below which pair are you rooting for